There's something about Filipinos that confuses the rest of the world. We get knocked down harder than anyone, yet we always come back stronger. The secret isn't what you think. From the trenches of Korea to the aftermath of super typhoons, from fighting colonial powers to building global businesses today, Filipinos don't just survive, they transform pain into power. But here's what's different about 2025. The world isn't just watching them survive anymore. They're watching them lead. And smart Filipinos are turning this momentum into real freedom and income opportunities. If you're ready to channel that undefeated Filipino spirit into location-independent income and travel freedom, grab my Cruise Freedom Blueprint in the description. It's the exact system thousands of Filipinos are using to build global travel businesses from home. But first, let me show you why the Filipino spirit is undefeated and how you can use that same spirit to win in ways you never imagined. Here's something the history books won't tell you. Every time the Philippines gets written off, they come back stronger than before. Take the Battle of Yultong in 1951. Filipino soldiers were outnumbered 40 to 1 by Chinese forces. Military experts said it was impossible to hold the line, but the 10th Battalion combat team held their ground for 3 days straight. When reinforcements finally arrived, they found Filipino soldiers still fighting with bayonets because they'd run out of ammunition. The Chinese commander later said he'd never seen anything like Filipino determination. But it's not just in war. Look at what happened after Typhoon Haiyan in 2013. International disaster experts predicted it would take a decade for affected areas to recover. The world prepared for years of dependency and aid. Instead, within 2 years, communities had rebuilt stronger than before, not because of foreign aid, because of Filipino ingenuity and refusal to stay down, but there's a pattern in these comeback stories that most people miss. It's the same pattern I've seen in successful Filipino entrepreneurs today, and it connects to a secret about how Filipinos are uniquely positioned to dominate the global travel industry. Some people think resilience is just about surviving hard times, but the Filipino spirit does something most cultures can't. It turns adversity into advantage. Every challenge becomes a launching pad for something better than before. Something has changed in the last 3 years. The same countries that used to ignore the Philippines are now competing for their partnership. The United States has strengthened military ties. Japan is conducting joint naval exercises for the first time since World War II. Australia is sharing intelligence and technology. Even unexpected allies like India are building economic partnerships. Think of it like this. The Philippines is like the reliable friend everyone took for granted in school. Quiet, helpful, always there when needed. But one day, that friend starts their own successful business, and suddenly everyone realizes they should have been paying attention all along. Filipino nurses kept American hospitals running during the pandemic. Filipino seafarers keep global trade moving. They crew 25% of all merchant vessels worldwide. Filipino teachers are educating the next generation across the Middle East and beyond. But here's what's really interesting. This global recognition isn't just creating opportunities for the government, it's opening doors for regular Filipinos that didn't exist even 5 years ago. And the travel industry is where I'm seeing the biggest opportunities emerge. International recognition sounds good but abstract. But when global powers start competing for your partnership, real opportunities follow. And those opportunities are filtering down to individual Filipinos faster than ever before. Here's what's happening that most people aren't talking about. The Filipino workforce advantage isn't just about being skilled anymore, it's about being globally connected. There are 10 million Filipinos working abroad, sending home over $35 billion annually. But that's just the visible economy. The invisible economy is Filipino networks, trust, and reputation spread across every continent. Last month, I met Carlos, a 28-year-old from Iloilo who never worked overseas. He was earning 18,000 pesos monthly as a local bank teller. Through online Filipino business communities, he connected with Filipino-owned travel agencies in Dubai, Singapore, and Los Angeles. Instead of applying for jobs with them, he offered to help them with social media and customer service from the Philippines. Within 6 months, he was earning $1,200 monthly, working with 3 different agencies remotely. Carlos told me, I used to think I needed to leave the Philippines to access global opportunities. Now I realize global opportunities come to Filipinos who position themselves correctly. Carlos's success connects to something I discovered about the travel industry that will surprise you. There's a specific business model that's perfect for Filipinos. It combines their natural hospitality, global connections, and work ethic. I need to be honest about something personal. When I first started researching Filipino success stories, I had mixed feelings. Part of me was proud seeing Filipinos excel globally. But another part of me was frustrated that they always seemed to be working harder than everyone else for the same results. I kept thinking, why do they have to prove themselves over and over again? But meeting people like Carlos made me realize I was looking at this backwards. They're not working harder to prove themselves anymore. They're working smarter to position themselves. That's exactly why I created my Cruise Freedom Blueprint. I kept meeting Filipinos who were using the booming travel industry to build location-independent income streams. They weren't just surviving, they were designing lifestyles around freedom and family. Download it free in the description because the Filipinos who start positioning themselves now will have the biggest advantages. The global cruise industry is projected to reach $73 billion by 2030. Post-pandemic, people aren't just traveling. They're seeking experiences, community, and authentic connections. Three things Filipinos naturally excel at providing. But here's the part most people miss. The biggest opportunities aren't in working on ships or selling tickets. They're in the membership and community side of travel. Filipinos are uniquely positioned for this because they understand both hospitality and community building at a cultural level. They don't just provide service, they create relationships. They don't just follow scripts, they genuinely care about people's experiences. The technology exists now for Filipinos to build global travel communities without leaving home. You can earn commissions, build teams, and create passive income streams all from your laptop or smartphone. Here's a story that proves everything I've been telling you. 6 months ago, I met Grace, a domestic helper in Hong Kong, for 8 years. She'd been sending money home to support her 3 children in Mindanao, missing birthdays and graduations because she couldn't afford to lose work days. Then she heard about travel membership programs through a Filipino Facebook group. She invested her savings, $200, because she was desperate for change. Grace didn't try to become an aggressive salesperson. Instead, she did what came naturally. She shared her dream of traveling with her children someday. She helped other OFWs plan affordable vacations home. 12 months later, Grace's travel business income exceeded her domestic helper salary. But here's the emotional part. She brought her 3 children to Singapore for their first family vacation ever. They stayed in a 4-star hotel, visited Universal Studios, and made memories they'd never forget. Grace told me, "The undefeated Filipino spirit isn't about never falling down. It's about always getting back up with something better than what you lost." So why is the Filipino spirit undefeated? It's because Filipinos understand something most cultures have forgotten. True strength comes from lifting each other up. Real wealth comes from building communities, not just bank accounts. Lasting success comes from relationships, not just transactions. The global economy is finally catching up to Filipino values. The travel industry rewards exactly what they do naturally: create genuine connections, provide heartfelt service, and build trust over time. If you're ready to turn Filipino strengths into location-independent income and travel freedom, download my Cruise Freedom Blueprint right now. The blueprint shows you the exact strategies that successful Filipinos like Carlos and Grace are using to build businesses around global travel trends. The link is in the description. Get it now because the Filipinos who start positioning themselves first will have the biggest advantages as this transformation accelerates. Like this video if the Filipino spirit inspires you. Subscribe for more real stories about how Filipinos are winning in the modern economy. And share this with someone who needs to remember that being Filipino isn't a limitation. It's a competitive advantage. The Filipino spirit is undefeated. Their success stories are just getting started.